We're all here to Dyne for one reason, and that's to create transformational therapies for people living with devastating muscle diseases. The stories shared by people and families in the myotonic, Duchenne, and FSHD communities help bring a very moving and impactful face and voice to these diseases. They truly are what inspire us and create the sense of urgency that drive our work every single day. Today, we're very honored to have Sora Bry, a San Franciscan who lives with myotonic dystrophy, Jessica Round, who's the mom of a 15-year-old named Wyatt, who lives with DMD in New Orleans, and Chelsea Moeller, who lives with FSHD in Maine. Helping lead our discussion today is Dr. Lori Gutman, the chair of the neurology department and director of the neuromuscular clinic at Indiana University. And an expert clinician and researcher working in muscle diseases. Welcome, Lori, and welcome to Sora, Jessica, and Chelsea.
Thank you, Josh. So I'm a neurologist. I've been taking care of patients and their families with neuromuscular disorders and working with people with neuromuscular disorders for about 3 decades at this point. I have to say that I think this is a really great thing that you all are doing. I have learned more about the diseases and about life in general, actually, from the patients and the families that I've cared for. And so I think this type of thing is really important.
So I have FSH. I was diagnosed in 2012, and my answer to this may be a little unconventional in terms of what challenges I experienced. But I would say for me, the most prominent challenges right now, given where I'm at in my progression, are really more psychological. You know, I deal pretty often with sort of questions of identity and how much am I going to embrace my identity as a person who's living with a progressive disease. Right now, it's fairly manageable. It's not something that announces itself when I walk up because of my physical limitations or how moderate they are. But there will come a time when my first impression to somebody is one that shares something pretty personal and vulnerable, and that's kind of an intimidating future.
From the Duchenne community, as y'all all know, and I'm sure aware, is that it progresses. And some people, it progresses faster than others. And Wyatt has been in multiple trials. He's multiple clinical trials. And I think a lot of it, we would love to just have somebody recognize that stability for this community is a thing that we would love to achieve. And that when we are participating in trials and things like that, that's recognized. That yes, we would love a cure for our boys, but sometimes just stopping progression would be great. We would love to gain everything back that they have lost, but to recognize that some of these things, just like being able to continue to brush their teeth or to feed themselves or just turn in bed, that those are things that are just as important, if not more important, than walking.
The thing with progressive disease is it's a moving target. So if there's no treatment, I mean, thankfully, I'm not physically, my muscles aren't to a point where I've had to modify my daily life. I mean, I'm weaker, but not weak to a point where I have to be in a wheelchair, or I can't walk or can't lift things. The myotonia is there, that can affect opening bottles and things, but that's a very small part. So it's fatigue now, but I don't know, 5 years down the line, it might be something totally different where I say, okay, I can sleep 10 hours a day and manage my fatigue somehow, but now I'm no longer able to walk and I'm on a wheelchair. So at that point in time, it might be, the biggest impact in my life would be to get my strength back, so at least I can walk.
You are always so inspirational. It changes the way we do our work to talk to you all, and we're just so incredibly grateful. Happy Rare Disease Week, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today.
It's so personal. This is personal for Dyne, very personal for you, each of you. And days like this, moments like this, you just stop and you realize what we're doing, why we're doing it. And I want to say thank you for sharing those stories, sharing your stories, because it matters.